Hello there, this is Krisha Young, and this is your Tuesday live stream here on my Facebook page. Thank you so much for those of you who have been watching my live streams over the last couple of weeks. I hope you've been enjoying them. You may have gotten to know me a little bit over the last couple of weeks and know that my mission here is to help, mission-centered women achieve their goals and do it in a way that is in grace, it's in ease, and it's in health. I'm here to support high achieving women reach their full potential and doing it in a way so that they don't burn out. Today I wanted to talk about the one thing that you can do to help enhance your goals, right? One thing that I talk about a lot is something called relentless rituals. And what this means is basically when you have a goal and you say that you want something, say it's to be less stressed, or say it's to, shed any excess weight that's maybe weighing you down and making you feel less confident. Maybe it is inviting in healthier practices in general, or maybe it's about your business and 10xing it in some sort of way, getting more clients, making more money, expanding your reach, whatever it is. You need to have a relentless pursuit to those goals in order for them to happen, in order for them to come to fruition. So this is where I like to call relentless rituals. So let's talk about the more lifestyle stuff. So for example, if you want to feel calmer and more grounded and more centered, you are maybe experiencing some hormonal issues, and stay tuned on Thursday because I am going to be talking more about your hormones and how they might be affecting you. So make sure you watch that one on Thursday. But let's say you're having some issues going on in your body right now. Maybe you're feeling really exhausted. Maybe you have gained some weight and you don't, you're seemingly doing all the right things, but things aren't shifting. Maybe you're feeling just like you're on the verge of burnout. You're feeling really stressed out. Even though you're loving what you're doing, you're feeling a little bit pulled in all these directions. What I like to talk about is being relentless towards what it is that you want to achieve. So let's talk about what that is for a minute. So if you're saying that, say you want to have more energy, or you don't want to feel so exhausted, or you want to shed, some weight that maybe you've put on, maybe you just want to feel better. Maybe you just feel like shit all the time and you want to feel better about yourself, in your body, your mindset, all of it. The first question I will ask you is why? So what? Why do you want to feel those things? If you're not connected to that why, then what ends up happening is any pursuit that you make towards that goal might end up being a little futile. And that's where willpower comes in, because you're willing yourself to get to a particular destination, but maybe it's a destination that you don't feel connected to. So when you're looking at making changes in your life and feeling better, connect to why you want to do that in the first place. Is it so that you don't end up like your family members, for example, who may have disease, or they might not be very well in their own bodies, and you just don't want to go there? Maybe you really want to take your business to the next level, but you're feeling so exhausted that you just don't have the energy that you need in order to get there. And so you really want to do it. That's a good why to have. It's a good reason to want to explore and look and see what's going on inside your body so that you can get to that next level. Or maybe you are looking at old pictures of yourself and you're saying, I don't recognize this person. Like, who is this person in the mirror that I'm looking at every morning? I see this person here in this picture. I don't see this person who's standing in front of me in the mirror. And you want to reconnect to that person that you were, but a much healthier and wiser and more grounded and better person perhaps than what you were looking at, but there's certain elements of that you want to bring back into your life. That's a big why. That's a big reason, and a very valid reason to embark on any kind of change. So the first thing that I would ask you to do is to really get clear on why you want to pursue the goals that you want to pursue. And then keep those front and center, because in order for you to really make the shifts and the changes and those new habits that we need, this is all about changing your brain and rewiring your brain and getting reconnected to healthier habits that are going to get you closer to your goal, right? And so when you have a very strong why and you're really connected to that, then you know, okay, cool. When things go a little sideways, you can go, I'm going to connect right back. I know why I'm doing this. Whereas if you're just doing something just to do it, you don't have that connection. And when you have a bad day or you have a day where everything goes off the rails, there's very little desire or impetus to get back to that why if you're not clear on that. Okay, so that's the first thing that I'll have you do. Now I want to talk about what relentless rituals mean and how they apply to where you are today. So like I was saying at the beginning, say you want to maybe lose some weight, or say you want to reduce stress in your life. You're just feeling so overwhelmed by things. Maybe you want to reconnect to the person who you used to be, energetically, physically, mentally, all of that. You're just feeling so bogged down by a lot of stuff, right? So how do you get to that place? What kind of things do you need to do in order to get there? This is what I like to call your relentless rituals, okay? This is where willpower isn't required, because like I said, willpower is you hanging on for dear life and hoping that you're going to stick with something. Whereas a relentless ritual is something that you choose, that you do relentlessly every day, or at least a few times a week at the beginning, right? And it's this relentlessness that eventually reprograms your brain, rewires your neurons, and creates new, better, healthier habits that will create this new woman that you're trying to emerge as and become, okay? So what I want you to do is pick a ritual, all right? So let me just talk about 3 rituals here that I've done and that I know work for my clients, but I encourage you to use this as a springboard. Use this as an inspiration for you to think of your own rituals that you could do on a daily basis that will get you closer to whatever your why is, whatever that goal is, okay? So the 3 rituals that I want to talk about today, the first one is meditation. And this is something that I talked about last week. You can go back to that live stream when I talked about finding calm in your chaos, okay? So if meditation is one of those words that you're just like, oh God, did she just say that? Come on. Like, I've tried meditating. It doesn't work. My brain never shuts off. I'm too busy. All I do is run through my to-do list. You have to watch that live stream, okay? I dispel a lot of those myths and I give you a really simple tool and how to invite in this into your life. I'm a big believer in meditation, and I tell you, when I first started, I was just like not connected to it. But it was through being relentless with that particular ritual, doing it every day, inviting it in, starting slow. You can go back to that other live stream where I go through all of this. And then now I'm at the point where if I don't do it, I feel something is really off in my day. And it has done amazing things for me as a woman, as a business owner, just as a person. And it's helped me really connect to what it is that I'm going towards. I get really amazing ideas coming through when I'm meditating and all sorts. There's tons of benefits. So you can go back to that live stream to learn more about meditation. But that is one type of ritual that you can do relentlessly every day, a couple of times a week or whatever, that's going to be so beneficial for you on so many levels, okay? How does meditating connect with maybe losing weight? because chances are the reason why you've maybe gained some weight, it could be because you're feeling unhappy, you're feeling stressed out, there's some disconnect, there's some discord in your body, and maybe it's pushing you towards overeating. Maybe you're coming home exhausted at the end of the day and or unsatisfied in some sort of way. You're not really connected to that or don't know why, or something's off. And so you're sitting, maybe drinking wine or having chips, eating ice cream while watching Netflix or something. There's always a reason behind what's going on. And I find that tapping in and listening, and that silence is really scary for a lot of people. I get it. It was for me too in the beginning. Listening to your own thoughts can be really scary, especially when your thoughts are really negative, and especially when you're in worry and fear and doubt and all that kind of stuff. But the only way really truly past and through all of that, it never goes away, but to start to manage it so that you control it instead of it controlling you, is really doing these things that I'm talking about here in all of my live streams and this one here. So meditation really, I promise you, it helps you with that, okay? Getting out in nature is also something that can really help reconnect you. And for me, I don't get as much charge out of going out in nature as I do from meditating or from writing. And I'm going to talk about writing in a minute. However, I was talking to a good friend of mine yesterday, and she was saying that for her, I asked her, what do you do to reconnect? What do you do to get back centered? And she said, get meditation, but getting out in nature for her is something that's really invaluable, and it recharges her, and it gives her energy, and it makes her feel alive. That's what we're looking for you, right? So if that is something and you're not sure, we'll talk about if you're not sure about what works in a minute. But if you know that nature is something that when you go to a beach, when you go to a forest, when you get out there, that you feel a lot better, when you go for a walk or something and you feel a lot better, that's awesome. That is something that you should really hang on to. And if you enjoy it, you don't need willpower, right? So if you enjoy these things, then willpower becomes you don't need willpower because you actually enjoy it. In the same way that maybe you're kind of enjoying flopping down and having a glass of wine or eating the chips. You're probably not so much enjoying that, but it's just this relentlessness, right, to that particular habit or lifestyle. What we're doing here is building up a relentlessness to stuff that are going to give you something in return and make you feel better inside, okay? The third thing that I wanted to talk about is just journaling or writing. I have one client of mine I was thinking about with the nature. She realized, and she never knew this until we started talking about this stuff, and she said, I went for a walk today. She was out in BC. And she went for a walk and she realized, holy crap, I feel really great when I go for a walk. I have another client who, writes her stuff, and she'll write down so much stuff and then send it to me. So you have to pick the medium that you intuitively think is going to work for you. And if you don't know what it is, this is where I like to say, play roulette with it all, right? Try each of these things and see which one works, but really stick with it, right? You got to stick with it. If you do meditation once and then you're just like, okay, meditation doesn't work for me. Well, you only did it once, right? So try it a few more times. And if you really don't like it, and you can say, hey, you know what? I've given it a try. I've really tried. It's just not for me. Cool. That's fine. It's no problem. But find something else, because otherwise you're going to just keep going back into those bad habits again. And we need to rewire your brain. We need to retrain your brain so that you can start really sticking to the healthier habits that you really want to do, and stop sabotaging yourself. Okay. So going back to the journaling and writing, sometimes that is a really healing and cathartic exercise, right? And what I like to do for some of my clients is when they have, some thoughts going through their head, they can just write those out and, write out their negative thought loops so that it's no longer in their head circling around like vultures, right? So pick your ritual. Pick it. So the 3 that I went through today is meditation, getting out in nature, and journaling, all right? And if none of those resonate with you, there are so many other things that you can do that are healthier and that are going to fill your cup as opposed to taking stuff away from you. Okay. And when you've chosen your one or two, give them a try, do them relentlessly. Because remember, you're either relentlessly working away from your goal or you're relentlessly working towards your goal. Either way, you're being relentless about it. You're either relentlessly convincing yourself that you're no good and you're an asshole and you'll never get this thing, or you're relentlessly convincing yourself that you can do this and that you're awesome and that you're deserving of love and all of that, okay? It's a shift of mindset, and a lot of this is very helpful, obviously, with a coach. But you know, there's nothing to say that you can't start picking some of this stuff up now and, you know, implementing it into your life so that you can start to achieve the goals that you really want to achieve without having to white knuckle it, without having to sabotage yourself, without having to, you know, fall off the wagon because it's too hard, right? So that's today's live stream. That's what I wanted to share with you. For tomorrow, I'm going to talk about the power of persuasion. And, you know, are you letting the people closest to you influence your decisions? And then on Thursday, I'm going to talk about the number one reason you're probably still stressed and having a hard time losing weight. So hint, that one's going to be about hormones. So if hormones are something that you're struggling with a little bit, then by all means, please join that live stream. Your final call to action, if I can call it that, your final to do would be to join my Facebook community. I would love to have you in that community. It's a free community. I do extra live streams in there. You know, it's a closed group, so if you have any questions or anything like that, you want to connect with me, you can do that in that group, and the only people who will see it are the people in that group, and as opposed to doing it like on this page here, which is my public Facebook page. I'd be more than happy to answer any questions that you have, provide you with resources or anything like that to support you on this particular journey. So that's what I wanted to share with everybody today. Thank you very much for those of you who are on live. If anybody has any questions, any of you guys who are on here live, if you've got any questions, please feel free to type something in the chat right now, or send a like or a heart or something like that so that I know that you know, this information is resonating and you're finding it really helpful. Yeah, that's all I wanted to say to you today. So remember, relentless rituals. This is what's going to get you closer to your goals, where you want to be. You got to be relentless towards, you know, you're either being relentless towards destroying your life in some sort of way, or you're relentlessly creating new life for yourself. And it's possible, you know, anybody can do this. I did this. You can do this. I do it for my clients. Anybody can recreate whatever existence that they want inside their lives. You just got to be relentless towards it, and you got to be connected to that why. Okay, so join my Facebook community. I'll put a link for that in the comments once this live stream is complete. I would love to have you there. And if you have any questions or anything like that, please feel free to either tag me on here, or you can, you know, tag me and ask a question in the Facebook group as well. So thank you so much. I appreciate you. Mwah. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye for now.